Africa. For years I've dreamed of visiting this continent to see the large mammals in the vast expanse of their natural habitat. For years, Kevin, a diligent reader of The Economist, has nixed my vacation suggestions, claiming it's too dangerous. Mugging, kidnapping, murders, guerrilla warfare. In 2010, several sets of our friends had returned from safari holidays in Tanzania. When I suggested this African country, Kevin's tentative response was, "Tanzania might be okay." That's all the confirmation I needed. Soon I was on the phone with a travel agent, and before Christmas we were headed to the other side of the world. Our first overnight stop was in London, where we visited with my brother, his 20-month-old son Kyle, and his wife, who was soon expecting their second child. Our second 8-hour flight took us to Nairobi, and the following morning we flew to Arusha, Tanzania, where we were met by our driver guide Ami and his open-top safari jeep, the well-stocked fridge. The first destination on our safari tour was Tarangire National Park, where we stayed at a lodge with the most incredible view overlooking a moving landscape of wildlife below us. We had never seen so many elephants in our life, the large number of herds dotting the countryside, each with no less than 20 or 30 of these mammoth-sized creatures, was truly awe-inspiring. As we watched a herd of bachelor males, one of them suddenly decided us humans were a little close, and so he marched onto the roadway blocking our path and stared directly at us. When he started pawing at the ground, Ami decided it was time to retreat. Water bucks and impalas abounded. The impalas were always found in groups of females with only one male. Here's how Ami describes it.
So all these are impala, female, and they find normally female, they go like that. One male with a lot of female like this. Harem. The harem.
The first sighting of each new animal was always exciting. Kevin was particularly thrilled as we spotted so many of the birds that he had hoped to see. And we were all fascinated by the weaver birds, in which the males build the nest out of grass in the shape of round globes suspended at the end of a tree. The entrance hole is near the bottom. On this, our very first full safari day, we were rewarded by seeing our first cat, a cheetah lying contentedly nearby. Driver guides were constantly radioing each other, and we soon had lots of company. Suddenly, the cheetah saw or smelt some water bucks far off in the distance and approached for a better look. But the water bucks were quite aware of the cat eyeing them, so there was no dinner for the cheetah that day. As we drove to the next park, we passed through the home territory of the Maasai tribe. These people are primarily farmers, and they live in family groups in round wooden huts. Manyara National Park is the smallest of the 4 parks we visited, and its lake occupies almost 1/3 of the area. However, we truly enjoyed this park for its beauty and our first sightings of the blue monkey with their very long tails, and so many zebra. In the distance, we saw wallowing hippos, and throughout the park we saw many more baboons. We even got to see a weaver bird dismantling a nest, presumably a female unhappy with the work of the male. After an interminable wait for a park permit in an inordinately bureaucratic process, we finally descended into the Ngorongoro crater, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Erroneously named a crater, Ngorongoro is actually a volcanic caldera that is a natural enclosure for plenty of wildlife. Of all the parks, this was probably my favorite, as you could see for miles, with animals wherever you looked. A definite highlight was seeing so many cats. First, a fleeting glimpse of a serval cat before it disappeared into a bush. Then, a while later, 5 female lions resting in the sun. At the end of the day, we spotted 2 male lions sleeping under a bush in the most ridiculous positions. There were huge herds of wildebeest. And large groups of African Cape buffalo.
Wow, their horns go all, they go like that.
Yeah.
All the way over their head, like hair.
All grazing peacefully alongside zebra and ostrich, a Kori bustard, and the beautiful crowned crane, which is the national bird of Uganda. At the hippo pool, we had lunch and were able to get out and stretch our legs. The absence of impala in the crater was replaced with numerous Thompson and Grant gazelles. As fascinating as it is to see all the animals, it's really exciting when there's some action. Way off in the distance, we saw a cheetah stalking a gazelle that was hiding among a group of wildebeest. Behind the cheetah, 4 hyenas followed, waiting to steal the cheetah's kill. However, as the cheetah closed in on the gazelle, the wildebeest turned on it and chased it away. It's not easy for a cheetah to get a meal.
Oh, the zebras are watching.
Not now. The gazelles.
They look like they're taunting us. Why is the cheetah running away from the wildebeest? Because they have horns.
Our 4th and final wildlife park, the famed Serengeti. Here we watched the migration of the wildebeest, hundreds upon thousands of these animals grazing on the short grass plains. Our lodgings at Ubuntu Camp were luxury tents situated in the middle of nowhere, perched over a plain dotted with wildebeest. During the day, we walked on the same plains as these mammals. So how does Mother Nature handle thousands of ungulates grazing and then defecating all over the savanna? Introducing the dung beetle, which rolls the dung into balls in which to lay its eggs. When the larvae hatch, they eat their way out.
3 feet? Yeah, down.
After a day exploring the dry and barren southern Serengeti with its short clipped grass, we relocated to a Sanja tented camp in the central Serengeti area. On the way, we passed over 100 giraffes. Heidi counted. It was truly staggering to drive for almost half an hour, surrounded by giraffes. We were surprised how empty this area of the Serengeti looked. The endless long grass plains force you to keep a keen eye out for wildlife. But with Ami's discerning talent, we didn't miss a thing.
I love elephants. They're so funny and fat and cute. Whoa, that was interesting.
This lion knew just how to get comfortable for her nap. This leopard was napping in a sausage tree. When it awoke, we chuckled as it grabbed one of the seed pods from the tree. We could have spent hours at the hippo pool, watching close to 100 hippos wallowing in the murky waters and pushing to claim their territory.
Yeah. The mouth. Yes.
In a quirky way, watching a hippo defecate and then swish it away with its tail was entertaining.
That's gross.
Finally, it was time to say goodbye to the safari part of our trip, but not before one last adventure getting us across the river that separated us from our camp and the airport. For the next part of our journey, we flew in a tiny 12-seater plane to the western side of Tanzania. We were met by our guide Hamza and boarded a dhow for a 1-hour ride down Lake Tanganyika. Lake Tanganyika is the second largest freshwater lake in the world at 700 kilometers long, but only 50 kilometers wide. On a clear day, you can see across the lake to the Congo. We were the only guests for our 4-night stay at Greystoke Mahale. The bandas were like Swiss Family Robinson houses, wood structures with thatched roofs, completely open to the outdoors. We had mosquito nets for night, and a wooden walkway to the bathroom and upstairs chill-out deck. The main lodge had a communal dining room where we dined with managers Steve and Kiri from New Zealand. Upstairs were books, games, and lots of areas to curl up with a good book. As exclusively idyllic as Greystoke is, the reason for coming all this way was to see the chimpanzees in Mahale National Park, one of the last places to see wild chimpanzees in Africa. The chimpanzees all have their own names and personalities, and listening to our guide Hamza talk about them is like tuning into a soap opera. There's old Kalunda, who used to be the alpha male and is now referred to as the Kingmaker. This is because he helped Primus become alpha male by supporting an attack to kill Primus's unpopular predecessor, Pimu. Alofu was also a contender for the alpha position, but is much more a pacifist diplomat than the more aggressive Primus. Soon we were to witness the unfolding story with our own eyes. Greystoke's trackers head out early in the morning to find the chimps and then radio back their location to our guide. Trekking on the marked mountain trails is an easygoing hike, apart from a few river crossings. As we approach the chimps, we can hear them in the forest, and after a few meters of bushwhacking, we suddenly come upon them.
And he's also 11 years old. He's called Ichiro, the little boy.
On this particular day, the female chimp Effie was in estrus and all the male chimps were anxious to have their turn with her. However, she was up in the tree, guarded by the alpha male Primus. The male chimps were all hanging around near the bottom of the tree, waiting for an opportunity. Meanwhile, a young male chimp, Christmas, decided to show off his prowess by displaying to us humans. Teddy and Ichiro had found their own game, chase around the tree.
Yeah, I love the
Now the males are getting a little restless and are making noises to Primus to come down so that they can have a chance to mate with Effie.
Kalunde is going up there and he's crying as he's just submitting to Primus. Well, he's not. Also, he wanna get mate with that. The way he's going.
The older Kalunde, who was alpha male a number of years ago, has climbed the tree to ask permission from Primus to mate.
Primus also is crying, and Kalunde went back, and Primus salutes Kalunde by just touching his head like that. That's sorted.
Primus. Coming down.
Mtoto akike yuko wapi?
Unamuona Kalunde?
Yeah.
Upande wa Kalunde huyo.
Finally, Primus has come down, and all the chimps go crazy, vying for their chance at Effie.
Punish the girl to come down. Look at the Primus, he came down, and all the boys are clapping for the female. They need to make first one to mate. So the problem is which one can mate. Because Primus has already left the girl, and they're all clapping the girl. So they need to make sure which one is getting the first to mate.
Alofu, crossing on the branch, whose more gentle, diplomatic nature lost in the recent campaign for the alpha role, tries to calm things down. Too soon our 1 hour is up, and we have to wait until the next morning to see how the chimpanzee saga unfolds. After only a 15-minute walk, we find the chimps in a clearing, some on the ground and some in trees. Primus is still up in a tree grooming Effie, and next to him his faithful right-hand chimp, Darwin. When Effie moves off to another branch, Primus and Darwin groom each other in the signature Mahale up-crossing arm grooming position. From another branch, Christmas has his eye on Effie. Today we see several baby chimps. They will be given names around the age of 3, once their survival is assured.
One is 1 year, and another one is 1 year and a half.
Teddy decides he wants to take a nap, and so he builds himself a nest of leaves in the tree, which is how chimps sleep at night.
The other days,
Matsuya comes to check him out. But as Teddy ignores her, she wanders away again. Here we see Effie high on a branch, unprotected by Primus. The males below see their chance and go up the tree. 4, 5, or 6 males took their turn before Primus chases them away and comes back to apologize to Effie.
Chasing up Michio.
So who's got Effie now?
I think it's Primus went back to Effie.
I think so.
Maybe to apologize. Sorry, girl. I didn't mean to hate you. Yeah, that's Primus.
On our way out, Orion, Fanana, and Axantip lie in the middle of the trail. We get our treasured family photo of us less than 10 feet from wild chimpanzees. The next day, the chimps are still foraging for breakfast, and so we have to walk about 1.25 hours following them high into the mountains. We first encounter Matsuya, who loves practicing being mum by carrying Christina's baby.
They have to stand up and try to find a tree.
Matsuya and Christina find a spot to settle down and exhibit the Mahale up-crossing arm grooming.
So it's only these ones here. And I used to call that pen across the road. That's the baby.
Christina's sickly baby lies on the ground next to them. There is a growth on her chest, probably cancerous, and no one knows how much longer she will survive.
Absolutely. She cannot even be able to just sitting down. Oh God.
Vera's baby, on the other hand, is a thriving young male.
And I hope those two guys are playing outside the one that was just playing. the day before yesterday. Instead of laughing.
How young is this baby?
It's 5 months only. Ali get groomed, why not her? And she's called Abby.
As the chimps decide to park themselves on the trails today, we watch a parade of chimps amble inches from us to join wise old Kalunda and Makumbo. First Matsuya, followed by Christina and her baby, and 13-year-old Emery.
Okay, now it's a problem. He can't pass that way because Primus is there, so he should really think about passing there. We have to act, he's a very good boy.
And finally, we are rewarded to see the hulking, powerful alpha male, Primus. Much too soon, it is time to say goodbye to these mesmerizing primates. Greystoke Resort also offers us a chance to swim in the middle of Lake Tanganyika, far from the hippos and crocs that lurk closer to shore. Even our guide Hamza, wearing the life jacket because he can't swim, and our boat driver Bilali joins us in jumping in the warm water.
Really? Tattoo, let's go!
That was the lane. The boat didn't count.
Afterwards, Hamza lifeguarded from his kayak as we snorkeled by the shore, seeking out all the colorful cichlids. Late in the afternoon, we played bocce ball or frisbee while watching the resident warthogs amble by. The evenings began with scrumptious appetizers at the bar, followed by dinner as the sun set. On New Year's Eve, we sat on the beach as the staff drummed, sang, and danced local songs for us. Before we knew it, it was time for farewells. We rounded out our vacation with some beach time on Pemba, a small island in the Indian Ocean off the coast of Tanzania. Fundu Lagoon Resort was over the top. Our enormous beach view rooms were complemented by an outdoor lounge deck and a private plunge pool. However, the #1 criteria for choosing this place was the advertised unparalleled snorkeling. Each morning we headed down to the dive shop for a boat ride to Mahale Island, a protected marine park. We were not disappointed. As well as the large schools and varied fish, Kevin and I had not seen coral in such pristine condition since we had been diving in the Caribbean 15 years ago. Huge sea fans, staghorn coral, purple tube sponges, and anemones. Andrea finally got to see garden eels, hundreds of them poking out of the sandy bottom. Snorkeling from the dock at Fundu Lagoon, we spotted several of the beautiful but venomous lionfish, camouflage pufferfish, and many jellyfish. It was a beautiful close to an astounding vacation. Africa has captured our hearts, and we would not hesitate to return.